here on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
All right, here we go. Welcome on in. Welcome in here today on this Thursday. Yeah, we've reached Thursday of the week here, and glad to be back on live radio in the Jackson Metro and all parts around there and everywhere the signal can reach off the radio tower. We do have Beaver back. Of course, he's not going to be on the mic and all of that, but he is back driving this bus. We're glad he's getting better and recovering and doing better. And we're so glad to be back with you on that tower, putting out that big flame throwing signal there at WRKS 105.9 The Zone. Welcome back, everybody. And enjoyed the last few days on the live stream only on YouTube and on Facebook and on X. So we're all back together again. One big happy family, and you can be a part of the show here today on this Thursday. Get on in here. Whatever you want to get into is cool with me. We can take it whatever direction you'd like to go. Here in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio, Farm Bureau Insurance, go with the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau Insurance all across the great state of Mississippi. And a lot of folks in Mississippi still, kind of out of school, and even where I live in Tupelo, roads are good and stuff there locally, but there's a lot of folks that drive in to work in places like Tupelo from west of there and northwest of there, from Union County, it's New Albany, that area, and Pontotoc County. And some of those folks are still dealing with power outages and don't have water. Of course, Oxford really got hit hard all the way up to Nashville, and then over in the Delta, people still recovering and slowly getting their lights back on. And so not everything in the great state of Mississippi is back to normal. But this is state won a basketball game. Whew. Man, did we ever more need that? No matter what it looks like or what kind of lead you blew. I think I looked at one point and they were up 44-17, and it wound up being like a 14-point ball game. But a win is a win when you hadn't had one in a while. So you got that. We'll get into that, scores. I guess Ole Miss, like the women, I don't guess they get to play this week in the midweek. And more headlines coming your way. You can be a part of the show, and I hope you will be. First up, just text me on the Country Pleasin' text line. Country Pleasin' sausage on grocery store shelves all around the Southeast. It's the best. The number to text is 885-3776. 601 number. 885-3776. Country Pleasin' sausage. I finished up that pepper jack and green onion, and so then I opened a package of original smoked sausage flavor, which you cannot go wrong with that. Like, it's good to eat, and it's good to cook with, and it's good to do anything with. So text me there. Again, that number, 885-3776. Or call me on the Junction phone. Love to hear your voice. We've had a few days we didn't take phone calls, so we can hear from you today, though. Give me a shout on the Junction phone. Junction delis all across the state of Mississippi, fueled by Prince Oil Company. They've been fueling central Mississippi since 1960. So the number to call a Junction phone, talk to us, is 897-1059. Got it? Pay attention. 897-1059. Give me a call there. And, of course, hey, to you on the live stream. If you're on YouTube or Facebook or X, just type in a comment, post it there. Then it pops up on this screen here, one nice, neat column on this screen. And then I can click it. And when I do, everybody else can see it as well. For example, first comment of the day on YouTube, Jason out in Flagstaff, Arizona, says, how's Beaver? Well, Beaver and I were talking earlier, and we zeroed in on he's back. He's got us on the air. He's not 100%, but we zeroed in on 72.9%. He's at 72.9%. And Gene, that answers your question there a little bit too. Gene on Facebook, how is Beaver? Everybody concerned about Beaver. He's doing better. He's doing better. He's on the road to recovery and kind of getting back to work. I wondered, I asked him if it was 74.8%. He said more like 72.9%. So he's not at a 75. We get him up maybe somewhere upwards of maybe 85 to 90%, feeling like normal. Then we'll get his microphone turned back on. But really do appreciate y'all's concern for him. And that's really all any of us have been concerned about the last 3 or 4 days, honestly, is Beaver, to heck with the show and anything else going on. But he's on the way back. Yeah, and Jason, that's right. I know you're on YouTube today. Yeah, radio is on. So we're back on the air. There's Beav's back behind the wheel. And so, yeah, go check it out over there. Live stream going and back on the radio. Nick texted me here on the Country Pleasing text line. Hey, Matt, he says, since we're now letting professionals that didn't get called up play college sports, he says, what say we go get Willie B, that'd be Will Bednar, Landon Sims, and Tanner Allen before an Oktibbeha County judge real quick. Well, Nick, it's funny you bring that up. As soon as I saw that the other day, I actually fired off a post on X. I would like, by the way, side note, let's step aside here, aside from the conversation. I know Beaver can hear me, Nick, you, and everybody else listening. I would like some credit for successfully weeding out the use of the term tweet, Twitter, and that sort of thing in my vernacular. If you notice, I'm weeding it out. Okay, back over here. When I saw that about Betty Yako in Alabama, I posted it on X. Hey, that means 2026 Diamond Dog Baseball, Tanner Allen in right field. Put Rowdy Jordan in center. Dead serious. Who else? You could have, Landon, yeah, he's not been called up yet. Of course, you'd have to tear those guys. He and Bednar, you'd have to tear them away from their minor league, development and fast track and all that. And they're headed towards the majors. Those two guys specifically. But you could, here's the thing, Nick. I saw it yesterday. Tanner, Keegan James, both those guys are playing for the Banana Ball team. Now, again, assuming they have professional contracts and they've moved on to that. But neither of them made it to the majors. If you could somehow, I don't know, come up with more money and pay them more money than their Banana League team, the Loco Beach Coconuts. Yeah, they had their uniform pictures that they put out like team photo day. That is going to be so much fun watching Tanner Allen play Banana Ball, man. I cannot wait to watch it. I'm already in on it. It hadn't even started yet. But all joking aside, Nick, the precedent has been set that you could do it if you want to. I said it the day that it came out. Don't think for a second that coaches around the country in multiple sports aren't going, now this is interesting. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but it sure is apparently something you can do. And I think there's an update on that the NCAA, the ghost that is the NCAA that we apparently all believe in, they did get the judge to recuse himself because of the conflict of interest for Alabama. The same judge over there who's in Tuscaloosa, who's a big University of Alabama booster, whose wife is working on a case, maybe as a lawyer for one of the former basketball players who was involved in that murder case a few years ago. He's the one that did the injunction and the restraining order and all that. And I think they've gotten that through the court where he has to recuse himself from making. But I think he's already done the 10-day extension of the restraining order. So that's in place. So the kid's going to play some more games for him. Should we call him a kid? How old is he? 25, 26? Maybe I ought to stop calling him a kid. Maybe. Brad says on Facebook, what's going on with Ole Miss? ? Well, I don't really know I mean, other than their entire university is shut down until like next week on into the end of the first week of February. Like it's going to be probably a good full weekend of February before the university opens up back again because of the ice stuff. Now, I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but let me know. Let me know. All right, here's what we'll do. Quick break. We'll come back and hit headlines today, some things that are popping up out there in the sports world. And then I'll come to your text on the Country Pleasing text line at 885-3776. So just getting started with you here on a Thursday in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau, go! The home team back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple. Bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Y'all like coffee? I know you do. Check it out. Little High Point Roasters from New Albany, Mississippi. That is the breakfast blend. It's a whole bean. And if you notice, that's how much I've had already. Brazil Oberon. Not Ogeron or Orgeron, you LSU. No, Brazil Oberon. That ain't all. We got that. What flavor is that? Papua New Guinea grade AA. Bring it on. High Point Roasters, New Albany, Mississippi. Roasted right there. That's whole bean. One more. I got more.
Play. Matt Wyatt has got it all for you.
Just listen to that!
At the Zone 1059 and coming to you worldwide at thezone1059.com.
All right, back with you here on this Thursday in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team. They are your home team. Your hometown heroes. It's your local Farm Bureau insurance agents throughout the great state of Mississippi. You know, it's I've said it before. I'll reiterate it again. You know, whether it's auto, home, life, you have your insurance with Farm Bureau in the state of Mississippi. It means you have a local person right there in town, same community, same county you live in. You're sitting next to that person on Friday nights at the ball game, you know, in church. You have their cell phone number, and if something happens, you don't have to, you know, wait and call some 800 number and wait till Monday morning when business hours open up at 8 and sit on hold somebody 2 states away. And lots of folks around the state of Mississippi have learned that over the last, unfortunately, have had to learn that over the last, you know, ever how many days, going back into about a week ago almost, that, you know, ice storm stuff. Without power, trees fall, mashes your fence, you know, it hits your roof, it hits your car. And what a luxury it is to, you have your contact right there on your cell phone, your Farm Bureau insurance contact right there on your cell phone. You text them, you call them, they're there. They're on the ground immediately writing checks. And it really, it's a local company, Farm Bureau Insurance, statewide. Like if you run something up the flagpole, so to speak, up the chain with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, you know where the home office is? In Jackson. And so it's people you know, people you can talk to, they're involved with it with you. And it is such a comfort when something happens. And a lot of people have had something happen. So I can't say enough about the luxury that it is if you have your insurance with Farm Bureau Insurance throughout the state of Mississippi. All right, your texts are coming up, your comments on the live stream right now. Headlines for this Thursday. Here we go.
Good evening. I'm Ron Burgundy, and this is what's happening in your world.
Good evening, and welcome to Eyewitness News.
Here's what's making news.
Headlines brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Illuminate Bank. Find them online at mortgagemanms.com. Here in the metro, places like Tupelo, Starkville, and Oxford, and all points in between, all the way to Memphis. Anything mortgage related, trust me, that's where you want to go. mortgagemanms.com. Headline number one, State's men's basketball team got a win last night, went to Baton Rouge and beat up on an awful LSU team, 80-66. It was a 14-point win for State. They were up by 23 at half, 44-21. Actually got outscored by 9 in the second half. Still got a 14-point win, and that was bad needed. Tennessee beat Georgia in overtime. Auburn beat Texas, and Florida just went to Columbia, South Carolina, and embarrassed South Carolina last night in basketball. Deion, Coach Prime, new coaching technique in Colorado. Deion is fining his Colorado players $500 if they're late to a practice. Fines are in place. For the Colorado football team, if you're late to practice, it's a $500 fine, and if you don't show up at all, it's a $2,500 fine. Coach Deion Sanders cracking down on violations of team rules with heftier fines for his players fresh off a 3-9 season. Fines in college football. And there's this. The Cleveland Browns have hired Todd Monken as their new head coach. And, you know, if you're a sports nut like, you know, most of us, and you tune into national stuff, you already knew this, but just pointing out that, you know, this is a former Southern Miss head coach, Todd Monken, who took over the program. Was it right after Larry Fedora, or was it right after Ellis Johnson? I think it was right after Ellis Johnson, wasn't it? Yeah, Todd Monken. And did a heck of a job there. at Southern Miss. And then back to he went back to the NFL, and then went to Georgia at one point, and then he's in the NFL, and now he's going to be the head coach of the Cleveland Browns because he's coming from Baltimore, by the way, because as it appeared, they couldn't find anybody else that wanted the job. Now, Todd Monken's a good coach. It may work out for them, but it's one of those where you had to find the right person who maybe was ready to do it and who was willing to take it in order to get his first head coaching opportunity in the NFL. So we'll see how Todd Monken does. I think a lot of him as an offensive coach for sure. And those are your headlines brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Luminate Bank right here in Mississippi. Rick commented on Facebook. He said, Matt, I'm just touching base from South Mississippi. I was wondering how many times you filled that thermos this week. I bet a lot more than normal. I will admit, I've had a couple of days where it was really good and cold. It's kind of warmed back up a little. We're going to get some more of that really cold this weekend, but I've had more than one pot a day a couple times. So I have filled it up a good bit. With good old hot coffee from High Point Roasters in New Albany, Mississippi. Bless their hearts. I saw a video of the folks at High Point in New Albany. They maybe got power back on yesterday, and I know a bunch of the family for the Hardens and the Skinners and stuff, they were still without power and without water as recently as yesterday and the day before. But there at the shop, they brought some generators out and were working and, packaging and shipping out that coffee. Bless their hearts. They're getting it done even with a power outage. And maybe they'll get it back up and going soon. All right. On the Country Pleasing text line, that's Country Pleasing Sausage to you and me. Most Superior Unnamed Texter says, good afternoon, Matt. Good afternoon, Beef. Beef, I hope you start to feel better fast. Just think about Jake having cultivating radio, and that should do the trick. It's very cultivating. Unnamed Texter says, reckon any escaped monkeys they didn't survive the ice storm. Doubt it. Highly doubtful that they survived the ice storm. He says, and isn't it funny that same courthouse at Pittsburgh, Mississippi, where Trinidad Chambliss' fate will be decided, is where late Judge Henry Lackey, big Bulldog fan, turned Dickie Scruggs' Ole Miss bank for a long time for bribery. Book, Fall of the House of Zeus. Really? So it's the same court. Pittsburgh. I didn't realize that. Bama fan texted the show. He said, Matt, I'm a huge Bama fan, but this is stupid. That attorney did that ought to be ashamed of himself, or that judge, sorry. He said, yeah, the judge. Said that guy's got no business playing for Alabama. Bama fan, when Nick texted in earlier and he was like, hey, let's get some of our guys who are, former great baseball players who didn't get called up. They're either in the minors or they're done, and get them back in college if they've got another year left. Well, I was saying, serious, not serious, but you could do it based on that precedent. But I had somebody, when I was talking about that on X the other day, I did have a State fan who jumped in there and said, if they pull some stunt like this, I will not root for them. Now, it appeared to be a big State fan, and his approach was, look, if you pull that circus type of stunt with this baseball team, I ain't rooting for it. I don't support it. And I had to think to myself, well, okay, back to reality. I might kind of feel that way too. And Bama fan, I know you are a big Alabama fan, okay? And there are lots of Alabama fans like you that you simply don't support the idea of what they've done with this G League basketball player. And, it was just, it was kind of a weird thing. I didn't actually watch that Alabama versus Tennessee game, which was the first game Bama had after bringing him from the G League and giving him a uniform and making him eligible. And they played him in that game. It was only a couple of days after it. And they lost the game at home. Tennessee beat them. Ironically, Tennessee had a freshman out of high school that was best player on the court. Scored like 27 points. But I saw like 3 dribbles and checked the score later. But the 3 dribbles I did see, it was this weird icky feeling to look in there and see that Coleman Coliseum full of Alabama fans all hooting and hollering and adamant and giving it what for, trying to pull Alabama through, and thinking, I guess they don't care. I guess that's part of the problem with all this is, you know, if you're a school with certain colors and a certain name, you can do anything. You can play kids who are involved in a murder investigation. And man, the gym will be full. Bought my ticket. Hey, roll tide, baby. I guess you can do anything. I guess. Based on that. Hey, glad to be with you. We got a long ways to go here on this Thursday. Staying connected to you because of C Spire, the #1 network in Mississippi. C Spire, customer inspired. Check them out at cspire.com. Stick around. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
The Junction Delis, convenience redefined, and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. It's a pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever more tickled that they're a part of the show and I'm a part of their team now. As you know, if you listen to the radio show, I've been to the Junction in several different places around the state. I've bought gas just like you at a lot of places that are fueled by Prince Oil Company, and they are really wonderful people. By the way, that brand spanking new Junction Deli, Chevron, right across the highway from Germantown High School. It's in Canton. We say Gluckstadt. Do you realize they and other Junction Delis, they serve country pleasing sausage over there on the buffet? They don't get much better than that. The Junction and Prince Oil Company. That's what I'm talking about. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire. Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash, and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because you know we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot. Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m.
You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all.
And worldwide at the zone1059.com.
All right, back with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance, go with the home team. They are your home team. G Bama Boy is here. He said, greetings, y'all. Back at you, G Bama Boy. How the Yankees going to do this year? Pretty good. They're not the Dodgers, but they are the Yankees. Hey, speaking of the Dodgers, I think that's the team this guy played for in this movie. We have a birthday to celebrate today. And it hits especially close to home for any of us that grew up in the 80s and 90s when, this guy was, one of the top 5 or 10 most recognizable stars in all of Hollywood. Born on this day in 1945, so you can do the math on how old he is. I don't know what that would be. Hold on. So he's 70. Lord, is he 80? Is he 81? Does that mean he's 81? He's born on this day in 1945. Tom Selleck, Magnum PI. Yeah. Actor known for his role as Magnum in Magnum PI and Police Commissioner Frank Reagan in the TV series Blue Bloods. And then you had 3 Men and a Baby, a movie. Quigley Down Under, very underrated. It's kind of like a Western. It just has to do with Australia. And then that baseball movie, what was it? Mr. Baseball? Isn't that what it was called? Hold on. This is the Magnum PI theme song. Yeah, Mr. Baseball, Tom Selleck from 1992. It's actually a pretty good baseball movie. And the team that he played for over there in Japan, the Dragons, and their uniforms look just like the Dodgers. Like the D was the same in the script and the colors and everything. So maybe in that movie he was a Yankee and then went to the Dragons in Japan, but somehow I had the Dodgers in there. Anyway, happy birthday, Magnum PI. Afternoon to you, Bulldog, Mississippi. He said, did they get the interstate back open today? Yeah, you're talking about 78, I-22 up to Memphis. I don't know. They had it blocked off and shut down. Well, I guess talking about parts of I-55 in North Mississippi too. Like once you hit about Batesville all the way up to Memphis, I think they had I-55 shut down also. Let's see. The current conditions show that, again, northwest of Hickory Flat on Highway 78, that's I-22 headed to Memphis, like through New Albany from Tupelo to Memphis. So up there at Holly Springs, they got deadlocked before you get to Holly Springs on 78. After that, where Red Banks and Byhalia, it's all deadlocked. 269, which goes back down to Hernando in that area, it's all slow and stopped. And then there's a big portion from Byhalia all the way past Olive Branch. There's a huge part of that highway. It's just shut down all together. And that's right now. And then again, according to this active map, as we do this show right now from Batesville on I-55 north, from Batesville all the way to Hernando is shut down. And there's a part of it coming south at Como on 55. But see, that's parts of 51 that are shut down. Like, so it's like even today, according to this, even today here on this Thursday, like if you're in Sardis, You're just there. There's nobody coming in and there's nobody going out. So, man, I guess if you didn't get that, just consider yourself fortunate. Hail State fan comments on the live stream, says, I miss the days of recruiting and signing guys like Moles, McGee, Wyatt, Madkin, Prather, Womack. And I don't know that they were there a few years. As a fan, that made it more enjoyable to support. Yeah, you kind of got to know them. Like they're ours. We're riding with them, good or bad, right? And good, Moles, McGee, bad, Wyatt, rolling with them. But yeah, you're right. It was a totally different experience back then. J-Rock texts the show and says, the judge on the Trinidad Chambliss case graduated from Ole Miss. How do you think that's going to work out? Well, I could have already told you how it's going to work out. In fact, J-Rock, you may have been listening. You would confirm it, that the day that it got brought up, that this was, they were suing to get him eligible. I said, well, he's going to play. They'll win anything they want. All you have to do is threaten the quote unquote NCAA with any sort of lawsuit, and that's it. It's over. Because they're really just kind of a ghost that everybody believes in. And so the tampering thing, for example, it's a right and wrong issue. That's what it is. It's an integrity. It's a moral issue. It's a moral and integrity discussion. But frankly, you're wasting your time if you're talking about it from a punishment, non-punishment issue. Will they get punished? What will the punishment be? They're not. There is no punishment. Nobody will get punished, even when the NCAA, on any of their rules. Now, the atmosphere we have, even when the NCAA were to try to enforce any of its rules, even if they have a leg to maybe stand on trying to enforce that rule, all that's going to happen is that coach or that university is going to threaten them with a lawsuit, and that'll be it. It's over. So my advice to me, you and everybody else on the tampering thing with Ole Miss, for example, is to just don't waste your time talking about it from the standpoint of what's going to happen to them. What could the punishment be? What should it be? There ain't going to be no punishment. It's a waste of your time to talk about it that way. That's why they did it. So you could have a conversation about what's right and what's wrong. Okay. And sure, maybe you could say, well, that's a waste of time because those people don't care. Those coaches, those people, those lawyers, they don't care what right and wrong is. Well, I know, but I'm saying for me and you, we can talk about what's right and wrong. If I take a contract from someone to work for them, and in that contract is all this fine print, and there's actual paragraphs and items in that contract about me promising that I agreed to operate by the rules that are put in front of me. And then I signed my name on that contract. I signed it. Well, then I signed it saying, yes, I'll adhere to these rules. Then I should. And if I don't, I'm in the wrong. I refuse to go down the path of just deciding that, well, since there's no punishment, there's no such thing as right and wrong. In 2026, right and wrong doesn't exist. Well, I refuse to have that conversation. It does exist. It always has, and it always will. There is a right. There is a wrong. You ought to try to do right. Don't do wrong and tell me it's right. There it is. And don't tell me, don't try to convince me that I should trust you if you willingly will do anything that is wrong just because you can and it benefits you. Well, guess what? I don't trust you. Now, it may not matter to you. There's some people in this world that it doesn't matter to them one iota whether or not I trust them. And I understand that. It doesn't mean that we can't talk about it in those terms. But for us to talk about it in terms of there being some sort of punishment, there is none. Let me say it, and then we'll move on to the other text messages on the Country Please and text line. All you have right now created by the so-called leaders in college sports is an environment that will reward the worst characters you have. It will punish the characters with the most integrity and the most moral backbone. You hear what I said? Tell them all. It's the truth. Type it out, post it, record this. I don't care. What you have, your leaders have created a scenario and a structure in college sports that rewards the worst characters you have, rewards them in every way, and punishes the best characters you have. That's what you have created in college sports. Enjoy it. Y'all created it. Enjoy it. Eat it up. Love it. Doesn't mean we can't call it what it is. Your texts, your comments, your calls, the phone line is open. Back on the air with you. Just rolling along on this Thursday in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Stick around.
After these messages, we'll be right back. Yeah. After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right.
Is in the on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Back with you, I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance, go with the home team. Back on the radio today. Phone is open. Give me a shout on the Junction phone line. Junction delis across the state of Mississippi, fueled by Prince Oil Company. And you hear the train, you know we're about to go to the phone. Junction phone. Yeah, so give me a shout. And the number to call is 897-1059. 897-1059. Junction delis around the state. You know, it's like you pull up to the pump, fuel in your tank, go inside, get a little fuel in your belly from the Junction Deli. Sven in Berlin is on the live stream. He's on YouTube and says, Hail State from Berlin Central Station on a night train to Tallinn, Estonia. Said, I want to see what my daughter and the baby girls are up to. Will not be here for maybe a week to 10 days. We will see. Well, Sven, listen, man, have a safe travel. I hope you have a wonderful trip. Don't even think about us. Give your full attention to that daughter and them grandbabies and just soak it up. And we'll be here when you get back, whenever that is. But we will miss you. We will miss you, Sven. I will miss you. So have a safe trip. And tell the family we said Hail State from all the way over here. All right, unnamed texter. Yeah, okay, my bad. So I guess that was earlier, Brad, because Brad followed it up on Facebook. I missed what exactly. I had my mind on the ice. He said, what's going on with Ole Miss? And I said, well, they're not going to be open. And I saw a thing where Ole Miss University is shutting down until like, what is it, February the 8th or something like that? I mean, you talk about hammered with that ice storm. I guess they're still not completely up and going. It's going to be a long time before they are. But he followed up. What he meant was in the football tampering, and I think our unnamed texter was saying that too. He said, Ole Miss tampering, Dabo evidence, NCAA on the case. I'll tell you this much. You'd have a lot, in honor of Tom Selleck's birthday, you'd have a lot better chance of getting them on something if you could stick Magnum PI on it than the NCAA. The NCAA ought to hire a Magnum PI. He didn't even have to come here from Hawaii. He could stay home on the beach in Hawaii and figure it out probably better than they could. And it's like when you're a voluntary member organization and your members are intent on suing you around every corner for everything, what's the point of any of it? It's really not even the quote unquote NCAA's fault. Like the home offices in Indianapolis, they were all put up there and given jobs by the universities themselves. The NCAA body is the universities, and they sue. So, like, if it's stupid to have ever, if you were not going to agree to play by the rules you're all voted on, then why did you do it in the first place? We didn't say you had to do it. You did it. Bunch of schools, conferences, we're going to have a big body because we're going to have an NCAA tournament and all this kind of stuff. We're going to give some people jobs to monitor all this and trust them to do it, pay them to do it. Who do you think pays them? And, you know, and now we don't want those rules. Well, I mean, my job says we're supposed to, the rules think, don't care. If you try to enforce the rules, I'm going to sue you. Well, why sue us when you're a voluntary member of us? I could, if I worked for the NCAA 15 years ago, I'd have said, boys, I can do something else. See ya. It's the dumbest thing when you really take a good hard look at it. Whole thing is dumb. If these universities are huge operations and huge money-making outfits, particularly their football programs in the Southeastern United States. Well, if you don't want to have any rules, fine, don't have them. Okay, but don't pretend as though you do, and then You know, you'd be fine if it was applied to somebody else, but when it gets applied to you, we're going to sue you. It's dumb. Drug Dog texts the show, country pleasing text line. He says, hey, Matt, I have a question. For these athletes, how come they couldn't go to graduate school to get their master's and then on to their doctorate to keep playing in college? It seems like an easy way to keep staying in college, but evidently there's something that prevents them. I can't be the first one to think of that. Well, okay. So what you're saying is, am I looking at it right, Drug Dog? You're just asking the question. Okay, if you want more eligibility, you want to stay in college, you want to have more than 4 years of eligibility or more than 5 years of eligibility, just, you know, whatever. You could have a scenario where if you're in school there, right? If you're in school, you are academically eligible because you're staying up with the class and the curriculum, then keep on playing. So then go, all right, if a guy graduates, let's say in 4 years, then he's on to his master's degree. All right. Well, while he's working on his master's at that school, he can keep playing. So now we're into year 6, year 7. After that, he's getting his doctorate. Well, he's still in school. Now we're into year 8, year 9, and just keep on playing. The problem is, you know, what are you going to do with these rosters and these limits? Because you have high school kids that are graduating high school looking to go to college, and a whole bunch of them want to play ball in college. It's like, what do you do? I don't know. And that's why they put, you know, eligibility limits on it to kind of have a cycle going that matched with the education system, Drug Dog, because they are, after all, in the business of what? They are in the education business. Drug Dog, if you're not an athlete, if your kid's not an athlete, okay, but let's say they're a straight A student, valedictorian at the high school, or finished 2nd or 4th or 5th in their class, and they want to go be an engineer, you know, a civil engineer or whatever, or an architect, or an archaeologist, or a teacher, or a coach, or whatever. Well, you send in the application, you're accepted. And when you are accepted, they tell you how much it's going to cost you. Not just to live. That's, you figure all that on your own. I'm talking about, here's what it's going to cost you to come to this class and to earn a degree. If you pass the classes, this is what it's going to cost you. This amount of thousands, tens of thousands of dollars. Why? Because it's worth something and you're willing to pay for it, the experience and the education and the degree, what that means to go into the field you want to go into. There in the business of education. So the eligibility of the athletes who are, quote unquote, going to school there has always been matched up with the business of what? Education. I don't guess it is anymore. And if it's not matched up with the business of education, then we got all sorts of problems. So are they not students? Oh, they are. Oh, they aren't? Which one is it? Because if they're not students, then what are they? Well, they're not employees. Well, it sure looks like they are, because you're paying them and they don't go to school. And all sorts of problems. Jason in Flagstaff, Arizona says, going to be a while before I-55 and 78 south of Memphis clear up. Saw where the National Guard is going through just to get stranded people off the road. Whew, man. And yeah, and Jason, I saw where, you know, there are parts of the highway where they just had highway patrolmen had their cars lined up across the road, totally blocking it. Like, so look, if you were trying to travel and you hit them, you ran up to where they are, you're not going any path. Might as well turn around. J-Rock, you got some of them, man. That's great. All right. So he got some of the new country pleasing sausage dogs that are link size packaged just like a pack of hot dogs, but they are kind of the caseless sausage dog links. Looks like you got how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. Is there 5 in a package or 10? Because I can't see if it's doubled up. MSG and gluten free. Yeah. That's jalapeno and cheddar. Man, let me know how it is when you eat them. Trez texted the show. He said, Matt, I can't move on 55 due to the ice. I have friends in Como. They've brought me to the Como Steakhouse and everything worked out. He's eating a free ribeye. What? Trez. You talk about life giving you lemons and making some lemonade out of it. Stuck on the highway, couldn't move, too much ice. Friends come get him, take him back to the Como Steakhouse, eating a free ribeye as we speak. Man, Trez is living the life. That's great. All right. Staying connected to Trez and everybody else, thanks to C Spire, the #1 network in Mississippi. C Spire, customer inspired. Hour 1 in the books. Hour 2 coming up right after this. Stick around.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey y'all, Matt Wyatt here. Each week on the Mississippi Outdoors Podcast, we talk with the people who live it. Hunters, biologists, game wardens, local celebrities, and storytellers that know Mississippi better than anyone.
Those bass come up there and attack them. You know how mean bass can be there.
You're never going to believe this. Matt Wyatt just talked about your deer on the radio. I said, what did he say? He said, it was Photoshopped. And I said, what?
They don't know anything about hunting. They just have never had that right, that freedom.
Dude, that's us, man. That's what we do. So tune in. Be inspired, and we'll see you outdoors.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Yeah. Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links, bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. The Junction Deli's, convenience redefined, and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. It's a pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever more tickled that they're a part of the show and I'm a part of their team now. As you know, if you listen to the radio show, I've been to the Junction in several different places around the state. I've bought gas just like you at a lot of places that are fueled by Prince Oil Company, and they are really wonderful people. By the way, that brand spanking new Junction Deli Chevron right across the highway from Germantown High School.
Stuff you need to know right here on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at the Zone1059.com.
All right, here we go. Hour 2 of the show, just getting underway with you here today on this Thursday. In the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio, Farm Bureau, go with the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau Insurance all across the great state of Mississippi. Your hometown heroes. That's your local Farm Bureau Insurance agents. I'm Matt. Beaver is here. He's not 100%, but he's getting back, and he's got us back on the air, and so he's not going to be chiming in and everything anytime soon, but, I say that, not today, but soon enough. But he's here, thank goodness, and he's improving. We zeroed in on just a little over 72%. It's not 100%, but he's about 72%, which is a lot of progress. And appreciate everyone's thoughts and prayers and thinking about Beav and asking about him. And glad that he's up and going. As we start hour 2, if you're just tuning in, you can be a part of the show. I hope you will be. First up on the YouTube and Facebook and X live stream. Hey to you. Y'all waving back at me? Y'all see me? I see you. Feel free to type in your comment, post it, pops up on the screen, then we can all see it. So get in here that way. Come into your comments, Bulldog, Mississippi, Hail State fan, Sven, and others. You can text me on the Country Pleasing text line. The number to text is 885-3776. That's 601 number, 885-3776. Just text away. Not if you're driving, but otherwise, text me. That'll be fine. And give me a call. Phone lines are open to you. Love to hear from you today. Get to hear your voice. Somebody else's voice other than mine. That'd be good. Call me on the Junction phone. Junction Delis all across the state of Mississippi, fueled by Prince Oil Company. The number to call, 897-1059. Got it? 897-1059. Earlier, Scott texted in. We were talking about right and wrong. I think I've finally been able to sort of clearly draw some lines in my head that help me to view everything that's going on in the college sports world based on those categories. It's like a pair of glasses that I have finally built that I can put on. I can view everything. And it's this. There is no punishment. There ain't going to be no punishment. All you got to do is threaten to sue somebody that might punish you. Judges are all in on it. We got an Alabama judge who's giving money to school, helping Alabama basketball. We got an Ole Miss judge who's giving money to Ole Miss, who's helping Ole Miss football. So judges are in on it. The whole legal thing is in on it. It's all just about what can we do, not what should we do. So you got that. But I am willing to have conversations. I'm not saying there's even an outcome for it, but I'm willing to have conversations about right and wrong. Fine. Like it. I'm okay with it. I'm comfortable with it. I can see it pretty clearly, it seems like most of the time. It's weird, isn't it? Maybe that's the hypocritical nature of all of us as human beings. We're so faulty. But sometimes we can see everybody else's right and wrong a lot clearer than we can see our own. What was that in the Bible? Worrying about the speck in somebody else's eye when you need to get the plank out of your own. Willing to admit, 100% true. But if we want to have, as long as you're willing to have a conversation about what is right, what is wrong, integrity is good, making moral decisions and things, that's good. Okay, I'll have those conversations with you. If you're someone who believes there is no right and wrong, there's only can and can't. There's only money and not money, but there is no right and wrong. Well, if that's how you think, have at it. But I won't have a conversation with you because it's pointless. Waste of time. And frankly, a lot of your coaches, a lot of your GMs and some ADs and some president, A lot of you people in college sports are those kind of people. There is no right and wrong. No such thing. There's only can and can't, money or not money. So that's it. But there's no right and wrong. Well, you can't have conversations with those folks. I mean, more power to them. Good. Go on. Do your thing. But you can't talk with them about it. And you certainly can't reason. You can't reason with somebody who's unreasonable. Scott texts and said, just because you are a character doesn't mean you have character. It says integrity should mean something. I agree with that. It should. Bama fan texted the show. 5 years of eligibility. That is it. Move on. Go to work. Which, yeah, okay, it kind of matches the education system, right? The educational timeline, and therefore it's the way it ought to be. Makes sense to me. But hey, if you can sue a school and get your way, there's nothing wrong with that, right? I don't know. Sven commented on YouTube. He said, Chambliss sues the NCAA in Pittsburgh, a city with an unbelievable 157 citizens. There's one way to look at it. Nothing wrong with small towns. I like them that way. He says, well, he wants to cheat an extra year because he has no paperwork, and so it has to be the almighty court in Pittsburgh. This is the way it may have more to do with, who's presiding in Pittsburgh. And it's all going to make an interesting book to read someday. And let me ask you this too. Okay, let me ask you all this. Hang on. Sip of coffee. Should you and I consider this as an option? Of all the options that are in front of us as graduates of schools, former athletes, fans of teams, should one of the options we consider be, hey, let's just don't take any of this very seriously anymore. Let's just laugh at it and really not take it very seriously. I had that thought here recently that, if I really look at it honestly, there's a period of time where you could look around and go, boy, this college football thing has really started to become some people's religion. Like you look at what goes on in the fall, and of course the stadiums and the waste, the way some people become so emotionally swallowed up by it, 7 days a week for several months out of the year, and sacrificing their savings accounts to be able to go and just to be able to say on Facebook, I was there, and make sure we take a selfie, and it really sort of became a religion. It's like people, they really are going to church on Saturday and not Sunday. The real worship and the real heart. What was it that Jesus told Nicodemus in John chapter 3? The same one where John 3:16 is. What did he tell him? God's looking for people to worship him in spirit and in truth. It goes back to God knowing your heart. Remember when God called David, he told Samuel, don't look at him like the world looks at him. I'm not looking at his stature. The Lord's looking at the heart. Well, the real heart and spirit worship for a lot of us is happening in that football stadium on Saturday. And our tithes and offerings are given to that football program for Saturdays. And to heck with Sunday. I mean, if I can make it back from the stadium, decent enough time on Saturday night, yeah, I might go to Sunday school and church on Sunday. But if we don't get back in time, well, we'll just have to miss. I mean, I'm admitting that over the years, I've thought about those things, especially in recent years. And maybe, just maybe, one option in front of us now when we look at the ballyhooed mess of a circus that all of this has become, from eligibility to paying, to how you pay them. Paying them is one thing, who cares? But the how you pay them, to what, to how it's done, the recruiting. There's no limits on eligibility. You can sue anybody at any time. The judges are in on it. The lawyers are in on it. Maybe it's just time for people like me and others to just go, this is not a serious thing anymore. It's like it's gone from watching a drama to deciding I'm just going to watch a comedy. And maybe we ought to just have fun with it and laugh at it. Because maybe that's just about all we can do in some cases. Hey, and comedies are entertaining. I'll buy a ticket to a good comedy. I'm just saying it might be one of the options we need to consider. Stick around.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links, bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Y'all like coffee? I know you do. Check it out. Little High Point Roasters from New Albany, Mississippi. That is the breakfast blend. It's whole bean. And if you notice, that's how much I've had already. Brazil Oberon. Not Ogeron or Orgeron, you LSU. No, Brazil Oberon. That ain't all. We got that. What flavor is that? Papua New Guinea grade AA. Bring it on. High Point Roasters, New Albany, Mississippi. Roasted right there. That's whole bean. One more. I got more.
Conversation and tell him what you think right now on the Zone 1059 and worldwide at the Zone1059.com.
Back with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau, Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Staying connected to you because of C Spire, the #1 network in Mississippi. C Spire, customer inspired. Check them out at cspire.com. Jason in Flagstaff, Arizona, texts the show, and he said, I know this. I'd sue the crap out of somebody if I were Kevin Fant. What was it? Tires? Something about some tires? Stupid. Cars and tires. They should have made cars and tires legal long ago. Right? I mean, I used to say that too. Like, somebody gives somebody a car to drive. You think that makes me mad? Not one bit. Don't care. It's a car. Who cares? If some kid is dumb enough, I'll say it. I don't care who it offends in this case. If some kid, even back then, was dumb enough to make a life decision like where you're going to college based on a car, one car, that's dumb. Have at it. But in a lot of cases, you would have, somebody who, let's say they've been in school for 3 years. They're a junior. They've been in no trouble. They are going to class. They're making A's and B's. They're making tackles for you, scoring touchdowns for you. And somebody gives them a car to drive. You think that bothers me? Not in the slightest. Now, the recruiting thing is different. Hey, Mr. 5-star, here's a Dodge Charger. Come play for us. A year later, you get the keys back, and you kick him out of school, and he transfers. I mean, that used to happen a lot, too, especially at your bigger programs. Yeah, if y'all didn't know, Sven over in Berlin, Germany, texted us that he's going to Estonia for a week to 10 days visiting daughter and grandchildren. So Sven has got some thoughts, and I'm coming to those in just a minute on the live stream, including thoughts on Diego Pavia, who they measured at 5'9". That's tall enough. Tall or short, if you can play, you can play. And that's just all there is to it. All right, here we go. Headlines for hour number 2.
Good evening. I'm Ron Burgundy, and this is what's happening in your world.
Good evening, and welcome to Eyewitness News.
Here's what's making news.
Headlines on the show brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Illuminate Bank right here in Mississippi. So anything mortgage related, buying, refinancing, anything like that, anything related to a mortgage here in the metro, places like Oxford and Starkville and Tupelo and all points in between. This is where you want to go. The Mortgage Man Group, and you can find them online at mortgagemanms.com. That's mortgagemanms.com. Headline number 1, basketball. State got a win last night at LSU, 14-point win, 80-66. They were up by 23 at halftime. What was it? I mean, they were up like 44-17 at one point. Got outscored in the second half. It didn't matter. They had it on cruise control. Florida embarrassed South Carolina. Tennessee beat Georgia in overtime. And Auburn beat Texas. That was a pretty good ball game. Shot a bunch of free throws. Texas coach didn't like it. And he didn't. In the NFL, the Cleveland Browns are hiring former Southern Miss head football coach Todd Monken as their new head coach there in the NFL. Monken has been the offensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens recently. And so he's your new head coach in Cleveland. Back to college football. Deion Sanders is handing out fines to his players. If you are late to practice at Colorado, he fines you $500. If you don't show up to practice, that's $2,500. They went 3-9 last year. So we're getting serious about it. Getting in your pocketbook. This isn't the first time that Deion Sanders has enacted a fine system. It's just now more costly. Other fines that could be assessed include $2,000 for being a no-show to a meeting or a film session, $400 if you're late for film, $1,500 for not showing up to a strength and conditioning workout, and $1,000 for being late to treatment, up to $2,500 for a violation of team rules, and up to $5,000 fine for public or social media misconduct. Agree? Disagree? Like it? I would bet you he's not the only one that is in college football handing out fines. And then there's a couple of other things I want you to know about. All right, I mentioned to you a couple of days ago the World Baseball Classic. Starts in about a month. The WBC happens every 3 or 4 years, something like that. And I enjoy it because when this is going on in March, you'll wake up at like 4 a.m., turn on MLB Network and be watching a live game in like Japan. And it's awesome. Awesome. So I'm really looking forward to it. But we had somebody texted in who was an Astros fan and said, I don't like the World Baseball Classic because we had an injury to a player. And it might have been Altuve. But anyway, here's this. Houston Astros stars Jose Altuve and Carlos Correa will not play in the World Baseball Classic after failing to get insurance on their contracts for the event. There's an article that came out. Correa said he's not going to be able to play for Puerto Rico because his $31 million salary would be at risk if he were to be injured. The event, by the way, the World Baseball Classic goes from the March 5th through the 17th. It's fun now. He said it's too big of a risk to take to play with no insurance. I bet it is. So anyway, Altuve is one of those also, so they're not going to play for the home country. And those are your headlines brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Luminate Bank right here in Mississippi. Anything mortgage related, that's where you go. Look them up online at mortgagemanms.com. mortgagemanms.com. Steve on X, what programs do you think are these quote unquote clean programs? Well, I don't know. Steve, I didn't say anybody's clean. I don't know of any totally clean programs. Clean is in regards to, compliance with every single solitary rule that has ever been put in place and enforced to whatever degree. I guess there are none. But what I'm saying is, Steve, is what's wrong with talking about right and wrong and should and shouldn't based on right and wrong? I just refuse to throw my hands up and go, hey, 2026. Okay, so enforcement from an NCAA level is toothless in 2026. You can sue to get whatever you want. So there is no right and wrong. There's no such thing as integrity. There's no moral compass that anybody ought to be considering. Just throw all that out. It's just can and can't and money and not money. That's it. That's the only governing hierarchy in thought and spirit is, can you do it and get away with it? Or can't you? Money or not money. That's it. I refuse to throw my hands up and say, that's how we ought to all think. Now, see, and Steve, I think what you texted or what you commented there on X is a classic example of, we're basically over here having one conversation. And not one texter or one host or anybody on this show even used the word clean. Let's see, what else do we have? Sven says on YouTube, let's see, but a Diego Pavia and a Trinidad Chambliss would not get extra years, and good old Mario Cristobal, Lane Kiffin, a guy from Ole Miss would not be headaches anymore or had What are we talking about? I must have missed the first part of that, Sven. I don't know if it's out of order or what, but I got to find what goes in front of that. He said, I mean, he's already, he's already 44 years old and 5'9". He knows there's no NFL. Pavia wants another $5 million from Vandy. That's all he is about is money. It's actually, it's actually pretty funny. 44 years old and 5'9". So he wants to stay. So he wants to stay at Vandy. I guess I would too. In the Bureau, Farm Bureau Insurance Studio, Farm Bureau, go with the home team. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
The Junction Deli's Convenience Redefined and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. It's a pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever more tickled that they're a part of the show and I'm a part of their team now. As you know, if you listen to the radio show, I've been to the Junction in several different places around the state. I've bought gas just like you at a lot of places that are fueled by Prince Oil Company, and they are really wonderful people. By the way, that brand spanking new Junction Deli, Chevron, right across the highway from Germantown High School. It's in Canton. We say Gluckstadt. Do you realize they and other Junction Delis, they serve country pleasing sausage over there on the buffet? They don't get much better than that. The Junction and Prince Oil Company. That's what I'm talking about. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot. Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender. Hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau insurance. Go with the home team.
ZipRecruiter.com/free to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Do you crave your sports?
It's often difficult to satisfy that special hunger.
Not here, because you've got man Wyatt.
Oh, I am starving.
Don't worry, he's got a menu full on the Zone 1059 and worldwide at the Zone 1059.com.
All right, back with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau, go with the home team. John in Isola says, we may be burning tires in the Delta this weekend if we don't get power back on. Man, John, my heart goes out to you. I'm just telling you, John, because last I looked, I hate to say it, but there's some really cold air moving in here this weekend, right? I talked earlier in the week with my friend Stafford Sheridan. He's in Drew, and you might have seen that. He opened the restaurant. They were using it in different facilities that had some power to help people get warmed up. And, but like where he lives, there's still a bunch of poles that had fallen and crews were working as fast as they could work, getting as many people back on as they could, but they still had a ways to go. And I guess the same is true for you. Lots of folks in the Delta still without power. Hang in there, John. Bless your heart, man. Phew. That's tough. Yeah, Jason in Flagstaff. He texted and said, yeah, Kevin Fant got ruled ineligible for ever how many games by the NCAA because someone loaned him like $600 for a set of tires. He paid back the next week. Stupid. I know. It was stupid back then, some of the stuff they were doing. For sure. Steve hit me back on the live stream. He's on X. By the way, hey to you, if you're on X, Facebook, YouTube, out there, all you gotta do is type in a comment, post it. It pops up, all of them, in one nice, neat column right here on this screen. I can click it and pop it on the screen where everybody can see it. Steve said, it's funny that someone that makes a living off these football programs is the one criticizing them. Maybe there wouldn't be so much criticism if your team won more games. Maybe not. Maybe not, Steve. I wouldn't be so critical if my team won more games, and then everybody could really see how hypocritical I am. Makes a living off these football programs. Wouldn't be so critical. Bulldog, Mississippi says, Matt, have you ever attempted to use a Restream bot so that we can see the Facebook messages on YouTube and vice versa? Well, we can do that. It's just Bulldog, Mississippi, there is a way for me to do that. It's just that it's so small, I fear that you can't see them. Let's see. How do I do that? Here we go. Let me click this and just see. let's see, size. We're going to go regular, and then the font, we're going to make it big. Let's see, wide. There we go. How's that? See, again, the problem is it covers up the C Spire logo in the bottom left. So I could do that. I tell you what, I'll work on it. And if you want it, you see how that looks? Bulldog, Mississippi, you see how that looks right there? I don't know if it's actually big enough for you to read. That's the biggest it can be made on this automatic plugin on the streaming service. I use one called StreamYard, and it's a really good service. But you can kind of see how that works. And as they come in, it pops them up on the screen right there. Like you can see, Old Tackle said he's 30,000 feet over America flying right now. So see what you think about that. And let me know that's as big as it can be. And if you like it, I will do that, and I'll adjust it, and we'll move the live stream C Spire logo over a little bit. Yeah, if you want. Just let me know if you like that. I'll turn it off for now, though, until we can get all that fixed, okay? Okay. Coop in Gluckstadt texts the show on the Country Pleasing text line. That's Country Pleasing sausage to you and me. He says, I think a lot of reasons sports fans don't have any sympathy for the NCAA is because they spent decades abusing their power. Hey, Coop, listen, that's bullseye, man. Listen to what Jason said about fan. And even to a degree, like, I know Ole Miss has been punished a bunch over the years, like once in the 90s and some, and then the one recently. And, some of the things, whether it be like adding in their kids getting to stay at the coach's house, or a kid getting a car to drive, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I feel like they were abusing their power, especially when you are certain programs who had to watch every eggshell you potentially stepped on versus other programs that got away with bloody murder, and it didn't matter. And you knew it, and everybody knew it. I think there's some truth in what you're saying in that, Coop, it could be any organization, okay? And if you want to be respected long-term and have some disciplinary ground to stand on, you got to be strict, and you got to be even, and you got to be consistent, and you cannot pick favorites. Ask any high school principal. Ask any high school coach. He said, yeah. And Coop, you said, for example, the tires and fan. He said there was one quarterback at Southern Miss who was married and was having a baby shower, and the USM alums were not allowed to give him presents. It's so bizarre to even read that, and I think what it is, Coop, is you go, okay, well, if one school alums are not going to be allowed to give presents to a baby shower, then let's make sure that kind of treatment is evenly distributed across everybody under the umbrella. Well, they never did that because, listen, Coop, now here I go cynical again. Back in the day, NCAA, here's the reason. It would have taken many, 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 many more enforcement staff employees, hundreds and hundreds more enforcement staff employees all over the country, based out of Indianapolis, to actually enforce that kind of level, rules adherence to every school. And to have that many more employees, to actually have the kind of staff you would have to have fleshed out to enforce it evenly, would have cost everybody a whole lot more money. Okay, that's more money out of schools' pockets. That's more money shaved off the profit they're making from the NCAA tournament. And the NCAA president might have to take a pay cut. See what I mean? So rather than actually enforce rules with enough people, let's just selectively do it every now and then, just to put the fear of God in everybody, so that they, even if they're breaking rules, at least they're not going to sleep good at night, wondering if we're going to show up. And their approach was, rather than actively looking for stuff, they would wait for the media to report on something. They would wait for the media to, And that's how they do a lot of their investigating. So what you would have is you'd have a school who had, their NCAA compliance employee on their campus. Who's paying him? The school is. And it's one person who, is trying to see that he does his job and that things go according to the rules and dealing with all that. It was the biggest thing was they didn't really want to put the money that it was going to take to have the kind of staff to actually enforce the rules. And so they're just kind of doing it selectively. And that's why it never really worked. And that's kind of part of the reason they find themselves in the position that they're in. And that's for sure. All right. Rolling along with you. We got a ways to go here on this Thursday in hour 2. I'm Matt in the Bureau. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back. Yeah. After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage.
We'll be right back.
Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwhyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwhyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school.
Play Matt Wyatt has got it all for you.
Just listen to that!
At the Zone 1059 and coming to you worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Okay, back with you. Rolling along. Jason in Flagstaff texted the show. He said it's supposed to be in the upper 40s and raining next week back home. That'll clear up the ice in a hurry, but not going anywhere until then, it looks like. That was right after John in Sola was talking about, not having the power back on, and they may have to burn tires to stay warm. And gosh, I mean, as crazy as it sounds, some people might have to. Temps. All right, I'm looking at where I live in Northeast Mississippi. Today we have a high of 48. Isn't that great? Nice, warm, balmy 48. Tomorrow, a high of 43, but then overnight, tomorrow night, Friday night, it's getting down to 16, which means Saturday, the high is 28 with a low of 14 that night. Sunday, a high of 37, low of 25. And then, like you say, Jason, you get on into Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, Northeast Mississippi, first week of February, we're going to get some 50-degree temps with rain falling, and that'll soak everything. But you're right. There'll be some parts where maybe it'll get rid of the ice, but between now and then, we're going to have some cold temps. And so I think that message that Stafford Sheridan was passing around earlier this week of, hey, especially if you're in the Delta, Northwest Mississippi, and, around it, check on your loved ones, check on the elderly people, and just make sure you got a way to maybe heat up and stay warm, because if they don't, we got some air coming in this weekend. It's really going to be rough. Somebody texted in and said, what is the ceiling and floor for Coach Levy? Well, I guess the floor would be what, 0-12? The ceiling would be about, I don't know, about 11-1, 12-0, something like that. Wouldn't that be? I mean, technically. Unnamed texter. Why do you think Nick Saban, now he spelled it differently. He did say Nick Satan. And I'm not going to do that. Why do you think Nick Saban retired now that everyone can pay kids like he did at Alabama? Alabama isn't so special anymore. No, but Texas sure is. And who else? Texas and Oregon, man, they're special. Of course, Indiana won it all. Thanks, Coop. Got your message. Boomer Sooner texted the show. Matt, call Coach Sherrill to get a comment on NCAA enforcement. I know it. Well, and, he won the long legal battle. And then I think they have the NDA, the non-disclosure agreement. I don't know that he can go out necessarily talking about what the final verdict and all that kind of stuff was, but he won in the end. Yeah, I mean, I guess it was never really set up to be kind of like it was always set up to be kind of bare bones, and we're going to make an example out of somebody every now and then to show that, hey, y'all better behave. Whether or not they did, I don't think they did very much. What do we have here? We had we had Bulldog, Mississippi, and others, making the comparison, Pavia and Kyler Murray, in terms of their height. Gene commented on Facebook. He said, Fresno State is now accusing Ole Miss of tampering. Well, rubbing is racing. You're not cheating, you're not trying, right? But yeah, Gene, look, it doesn't matter. And tell your Ole Miss friends and family, stop worrying about that. It's going nowhere. Who's going to punish and what? Like, there's no, they can, I hate to say it. It's true though. They can scream and yell and kick their feet, and Dabo and Clemson the same way. I got a lot of respect for Coach Swinney. A lot of other coaches do too. There's not a thing anybody can do about it. You're really at the mercy of who will do wrong and who will do right. And you have a system right now that is going to reward all the bad characters. And frankly, it's going to punish the good ones. That's just where you live right now. And maybe they'll get a hold of it. I don't know. I still like watching the ball games sometimes, especially when my team's playing. Bulldog, Mississippi said back in the day you had Doug Flutie, but he was never given a fair shot. Talking about the short quarterbacks in the NFL. Well, how tall was Drew Brees? What was he, 6 feet? Was he 6 feet? What was he listed as? I mean, that was the more recent example that everybody used when you had a shorter guy. 6 feet tall. I mean, you can play. And here's the thing. Let's be honest. I wouldn't argue with you, Bulldog, Mississippi, or with Sven about, whether or not Diego Pavia can play in the NFL or would be really successful in the NFL. That's not the argument, because really you look at style of offense that he was so good at in college, just so good. They don't play that style of offense in the NFL. They don't do that stuff. It's a whole different ball game, really. But I would say the height thing to me just doesn't matter that much. You can be 5'9", 5'10", and you can play. And you can be 6'5", and you can't play. I think if I were evaluating them, I would put less stock in the whole height thing than really we ever have. Now, there's some cases where, like, when it's combined with other stuff, you look at a Josh Allen, go back and look at Cam Newton. Well, he's 260 pounds literally and is a 4'4". Right. Okay. So that height that goes with that size helps from because you're going to run him. And so he's going to get hurt less, but if we're talking about throwing the ball, reading from the pocket, either you can or you can't. And I don't know that the height thing matters nearly as much as people have always made it out to matter. Yeah, I saw that old tackle. I looked at it earlier. 30,000 feet. My man flying and listening. Appreciate you. Where you headed? Sven said Breeze was 5'9", but he had a superpower called super arm and accuracy. And Pavia didn't have that. Okay. But all right. So Drew Brees listed at 6 feet. Let's say in reality he was 5'9" or 5'10". I don't know, but somewhere in there. But you really kind of nailed it, I think. And that is, when you're right around, 6 feet anyway, what's the massive difference between 6'1" and 5'11" anyway? We're talking about 2 total inches, 3, whatever the math is. What I'm saying is, big deal. What is that? This? The arm and the accuracy matters anyway. And whether Pavia is 5'9" or 6'3", he's made a living and was so good and clutch in that style of offense. That was, the spread and the RPO is always the element of him running the ball. And I've said, before, and some argued, and then it always kind of gets proven to be the case. The NFL nullifies your running ability at quarterback. The exceptions are the exceptional. Michael Vick, Lamar Jackson, Randall Cunningham back in the day. Now, sure, they all make plays with their legs, like the kid at the end of the Patriots game the other day, Mahomes, they all make. But really, you've got to be the fastest man alive, Vic, Lamar Jackson, for your running ability to really be the thing that kind of puts you over the top and a real weapon. Otherwise, it's just, basic athletic ability. The NFL kind of nullifies all that. Same would be true for Pavia. So then it comes down to, can you live in that pocket and throw it all over the field? If not, it won't work. All right, a little bit of time left. No, we're done. That's it. Thought we had time left. We don't. Okay, see y'all tomorrow. See ya.